that's a tremendous looking trophy.
Hello and welcome to the number one PlayStation podcast in all of the Oceanias, right here on the Explosion Network. It's me, it's your bud, Ciaran March, and joined by the one and only Nicholas Pryor. How are you, Nick?
I'm pretty good, thank you. How are you?
I'm great, thank you very much. It's even better because we are such a nice pair of friends.
We
gave Dylan the day off. We said, no, Dylan, don't you worry about it, my friend. Go do something else. Go hang out with whoever you have as a friend here in Tasmania. Go do that. Go hang out, or if you want. And then apparently he wanted to work or something instead. So
that's odd.
It's lame. And you know,
I think he's just a bit of a workaholic.
Apparently, he just works too hard. He just loves that job too much, to be honest. So, shout out to Dylan. Hope he's having a good night off from Platinum Explosion. But it's okay, audience members. You have us, much better, improved podcast, the alternative PlayStation podcast that you, the audience, have been asking for all this time. So, thank you very much for joining us. Now, Nick, how's your gaming life? How's your PlayStation going? What have you been up to last week?
Well, on Sunday I won an Overwatch competition for Australia.
Holy crap! You won it for Australia?
I did.
You did?
National champion.
I saw you on that Junkrat. That was
Junkrat and Zenyatta.
Yeah, so Junkrat and Zenyatta. So you were with you were representing Australia against America?
Yes.
And how the hell did you win? Because didn't you all... I heard reports from my local news sources that the Australian team was suffering from poor internet connection or ping problems.
It said we had a high ping, but I didn't get any real latency at all. So it's either a testament to Overwatch's netcode or the ping reading wasn't as accurate as it should have been.
Possibly. I'm sorry, my local news station stopped coverage halfway through, so I didn't see the end result, but then I heard about it on social media later, and
Yep.
I was filled with pride for my country.
And the most amazing thing was that we were a 4-man team against a 6-man team.
A 4-man team against a 6-man team, and you won.
We did.
This is a true Aussie comeback story.
Yep,
This
the
is
underdog.
The underdog story of the year. 2018's underdog story has already happened, people. Sorry, Commonwealth Games. Sorry, AFL football. Sorry, NRL. Sorry, any other league. There's no more underdog stories because we have written it right here. You were representing with the other representation of Australia, which was the remainder of the Banter Lab boys.
Yes, it was both the Banner Lab boys and one of their high school friends.
God damn it, they were pulling in high school friends. I bet he was of elite level. Was the tryout period hard to get into the Australian team?
It was. I beat out every other person that tried out.
And they couldn't even find 2 more players. They were just these 4 were that good. We're gonna just cruise on through.
The best there is, obviously.
The best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be.
Yep. It was a 2 out of 3 contest.
Okay.
The first one was, I forget the game mode, where you got to capture like a King of the Hill type one.
Be controls point?
Yep. That one. Mm-hmm. Then the next 2 maps were Payload on Kings Row and Gibraltar.
And Gibraltar, boy, those were normally. This is a futuristic tournament because normally you do the control points last because there can't be a draw on the control point. But wow, you guys really did you just win 2-0?
No, we lost the first one. We got the first control point in the first round and then lost the next 2 in that one.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're hearing about the reverse sweep of the century. This is I'm so... Continue, please, pro.
And then we took it out on both the Payload maps. We're pretty valiant effort, if I do say so myself.
Not only...
We had a pretty disgusting team comp. On attack, we were running Reinhardt, Zenyatta, Soldier 76, and on Kings Row we had Hanzo, and on Gibraltar we had Widowmaker.
Wow. Widowmaker on console as well. That is fantastically just unexpected, to be honest.
It was.
Normally they just don't do that. You really threw that out. And look, we are the number one PlayStation podcast in all the Oceanias, but we are the number one esports podcast now. We have an exclusive interview with the Australian representation for Overwatch. This is ridiculous. I'm surprised Custer couldn't even make the team. I guess he's too busy with the Overwatch League. That's crazy.
Yeah, that grassroots thing going on.
Yeah, no, he's just, that was like an upstart. It was a real upstart, to be perfectly honest.
I just want to respect my opponents. The boys dug deep and gave it their all, and we just, respect our opponents, and we all dug deep. And
you respect
just pulled it out at the end.
The Anzac pride at its best, This
Just
is,
digging deep. That's what gets you through.
I didn't expect us to have such a special episode straight away, ladies and gentlemen, but we are full of action and exclusive interviews. Now, have you been playing any other games, or were you training that hard on Overwatch that you needed to?
No, this evening I've been playing Clone Hero.
Okay, I haven't heard about it.
Clone Hero is a Unity-developed, open source Guitar Hero clone for PC. And so you just download songs and play it on PC, because I discovered it from a streamer called Jason Paradise, and then I decided to download it so I'd get some use out of my dusty Guitar Hero controllers.
Them dusty. Did you have to have a specific one to work, or was it just any of the USB ones work?
It's pretty much any of the USB ones, but
okay.
I'm pretty sure I have the PS4 Guitar Hero Live one, but you needed a Xbox 360 dongle for it to work properly. So I bought one off eBay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been recently getting into that. I've been watching, especially Guitar Hero 3, because Guitar Hero 3 is my jam. Apparently people mod the crap out of that game. People make their own versions of songs, and...
Yeah, that's... when Jason Paradise streams, it says he's streaming Guitar Hero 3, but it's actually, in fact, Clone Hero. And you can download, people just make their songs and download...
Yeah.
There's heaps of them. Although I found out today that a lot of the songs for the six button guitar, they've only done in expert, so I'm kind of holy fuck, what do I do here?
It's one of those things as well, especially with, it's interesting for them. So Clone Hero, you can transfer over, people would transfer over newer music as well as older music and put. That's pretty cool. That's something that would have been cool if it had been implemented properly in the other guitar, the actual Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
Would have been really awesome. And just to watch, I've been watching, quote unquote speed runs where people do the entire set list without missing a note for in 5 hours or something.
That's crazy.
5 hours, 46 minutes or something, and he played straight through, and that was really interesting. Just because it wasn't really because I wanted to watch and see how good he was, but I just love that set list.
Yeah.
I love Guitar Hero 3 set list, as we discussed on the Peripherals episode. If that's out. Yeah, no, it's not.
It's out tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
No. Fortnight tomorrow.
Fortnight tomorrow. 2 weeks tomorrow. You'll hear a Peripherals episode, and we get quite into Guitar Hero, which is...
Although we don't like Fortnite around here.
No. Speaking of Fortnite, what did you think? Did you see the ninja stuff? Did you...
I did watch a little bit of it.
Because I talked about it a little bit on Early Late Nights last week, and it was one of those... It's a phenomenon in itself, just because of random, Drake is in it, and... just the level of content that was, and just how hyped it got so quickly. What did you think of the whole freaking hell? Did you see the chat for that?
The one time I looked at chat, because I was watching on my phone, I was mostly reading in the landscape. When I first logged on and was reading the chat, it was just a wall of someone subscribed. This is that over and over and over and over and over again. That cunt is going to be fucking rich at the end of the month.
Well, I don't know if you heard, he got 10,000 subscribers.
That is ridiculous.
He went from something like 170 or 180,000 subscribers to 10,000 up, just in that one stream with Drake.
That is ridiculous.
That's that amount of money. And he turned off donations. Not turned off, but the donations weren't showing throughout the stream, just because he was getting too many of them to read out. He turned off donations. So the amount of money he made, and I'm really interested to see what celebrities jump on this now. Are you hanging out for a particular celebrity to jump in on the stream?
Well, I do follow I follow Terry Crews and T-Pain. They stream every now and again.
Do they really? Does Terry stream?
Yeah, he's big into PC gaming.
That's okay. I need to check that one out, because
he doesn't stream very often, but he does sometimes. But yeah, no, I'll watch it if it's on, but I'm not holding out going, oh, I hope this celebrity starts streaming, or this one jumps into this one.
You're not hanging out for Kid Rock to stream, or
no.
Good. Kid Rock Get out of my WWE Hall of Fame. I hate you so much.
What?
He's being entered into the WWE Hall of Fame this year.
What for?
Because he's like done like songs for them and appeared on this. He's in the celebrity wing. You were the one that put him there on our list, Nick.
Yeah, because I enjoyed his... Like, fair enough that he's helped them out writing music and stuff, but I don't think that's a Hall of Fame worthy thing. Like, for me, it in my mind, it's specifically for the wrestlers and, like...
They have a celebrity wing. Like, they have a special section for celebrity appearance.
You know, every day I read more and more about professional wrestling, the less and less I understand what people get out of it.
So, over Friday night, I jumped into Burnout Paradise.
How was that?
With a fantastic set list. It was good. It hasn't aged the greatest. Like,
Yep.
It's one of those things. It's similar to Sniper Elite's thing, where when you wreck, you get like this massive slow motion, like cutscene of you wrecking and stuff. And that was really cool maybe the first couple of times. And then after that, I was like, come on, guys, let me just keep racing. Like, you know, Sniper Elite does that same thing with those like slow motion headshot things where you kind of, if you get too many of them in a row, you're like, let's just downplay this a little bit. Like, but the soundtrack for that was one of the biggest reasons I played that game when it was first released. Is the song list for that game, because
the only song that I remember for that, because I had never played any Burnout games, and then I got to Burnout Paradise late. Like, I got downloaded the package with all the DLC and stuff, so I put a little bit of time into that. But the only song I remember from that is Paradise City.
Paradise City, because that was the coolest opening song to any game, almost. And then you have stuff like Girlfriend by Avril Lavigne pops on. There's just like random stuff and because it's all royalty free music, because it's like 10 years ago now, so nobody owns anything or copyrights that crap. It's just everything from the original playlist, I think, is there. So it's interesting. There's, you know, the things where you go back to a game and there's like a mechanic in the game you didn't realize was a thing.
Yeah.
So in Burnout Paradise for me is I didn't realize that there was only something like, there's only like 8 finishing points on the map. So every race finishes at one of 8 points.
Yep.
So half the time it ends up feeling like you're doing the same race over and over and over again because you're ending up in the same position, which made me feel a bit weird, because I was like, I don't know. Am I supposed to? This is like, because you know you get really good at the last couple corners that you use every single time you race that way. Yeah. And it's that thing where it's like, you know, you can go anywhere you want and pick your routes and blah, 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 blah. And it's...
But you end up at the same place every time.
You end up at the same place every time, so you end up taking the same roads because you know those roads really well. It was good, and like, you know, collecting cars was fun. Knocking people off the roads was fun. It's really annoying. To start a race, you have to like pull up at a traffic lights, hit L2 and R2, and then that starts the race. Yep. But for some reason, instead of hitting L2 and R2, I was hitting L1 and R1. And that causes like a crash mode to happen. Where like all of a sudden your car like flips out and starts spinning down the street and you earn money for like hitting cars on the way down. And I did it so many times. I was just like, okay. And it's fun, but at the same I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know. But it does have the easiest trophy list. Like, it's ridiculous. I think without even trying, in my 2-3 hour play session Friday night, I got 37% of trophies.
Jesus Christ.
For that game. Like, the trophies were popping all the time.
Are you going to go and get the platinum as part of your 30 platinums?
I think so. I need to. I haven't done it I've off the bandwagon for that one. So I've got to pick my game up a bit and, you know, knock out a couple. So I'll do that. There's a couple games coming out this week that we'll talk about in a second that I'll probably try and knock out the trophy list for them, because they look pretty simple, or they look fun enough to do, or one of them I'll probably get the platinum by osmosis. But
before we move on, when we were talking about the soundtrack, it reminded me of a very like eclectic soundtrack that I remember was either Skate 2 or 3. And the first time that I heard Sweet Caroline by Neil Diamond on it,
I was
like,
God. What is this?
Is this meant to be here? Like, what's going on?
What is this doing here? And that was there was that era time where these games like Burnout Paradise came out earlier, when it was like, Tony Hawk's era, all those kinds of games, Skates, where the soundtrack was almost as important as the gameplay for those games.
Definitely.
You always used to remember songs, or people, you talk to people now and you play them, say, like a Blink-182 song, or you play them that kind of alternative rock song, and some people will go, oh yeah, the first time I heard that was on Tony Hawk, was on Pro Skater, and you're like, yep, this is the kind of game and the evolution that, these good games are so tied or wrapped around their soundtracks that it's very...
Yeah, it's funny, because like the Madden games, 8 years ago, used to have awesome soundtracks and they would play all the time, like even during halftime and stuff like that. But I feel like the more recent ones, either I don't keep up with the music that's featured, like, or it's not stuff I listen to, or it just doesn't have the same impact as it used to.
It used to have, like, there was the same thing happened for me with the WWE games when they were coming out. Like, they used to have awesome soundtracks, but then got to a point where it felt like either somebody paid them, or they just decided that in the menu, when you first loaded the game, the same song would play every time. Yeah. And it just made me feel like the soundtrack was just didn't have much depth, because I didn't spend much time in the menus, so I didn't hear the rest of the loop.
Yeah.
And then especially with those, because at one point, one of the recent games had The Rock curate the music. Somebody else curated the music recently. And it's just like...
It turns out they all like one song only.
Yeah, it's like, okay, they just like this one song and it keeps playing and going and going and going. And it was one of those things with them. But soundtracks are super important in games. Even games that aren't doing these, massive orchestral soundtracks.
Yeah.
The song lists you choose are so important.
Definitely.
Dude. Like, they tie memories to games.
Like, I have so many memories from songs from Grand Theft Auto games. I could just hear the song and it takes me, like, whenever I hear Slow Ride by Foghat, I remember in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas driving through the hills, coming from the hippies farm as the FBI coming and driving into San Fierro. Like, it just brings up memories like that. It's just like a time and place thing. Like, can you imagine Grand Theft Auto games without those soundtracks?
Without those musics and those radio stations. I used to have, I think, one of the San Andreas radio stations on an iPod. And I used to just drive around listening to that because it was funny and the music was good. But even, I can remember there was a mission in, I think it was the original Call of Duty Black Ops that was the Vietnam one.
Yep. Yeah, it had Rolling Stones and all that.
Rolling Stones, Sympathy for the Devil come on during
when you're riding down the river in the boat.
Yeah, and that's the coolest mission. I always remember that, like, just being like, this feels epic. I like games where, and it's those kinds of games where they have those epic set pieces with epic music that I often die on purpose towards the end of the piece so I can replay the piece again, because it's so much fun and just so... I don't know, there's just, even with, like, going into music, I don't know how we got this far into music, but this musical soundtrack for Tales of the Borderlands, when those opening credits for every single episode,
I was going to bring that up,
I have all those songs on my Spotify because
so do I,
they're all fantastic. I remember first episode.
They set the scene and the feel and the tune so well, and just, like, you can't imagine it was made for any other purpose other than that.
Yeah, like, even, like, it just set, I was a bit not cold, but I was a bit, okay, this is where we're at with the start of Tales of the Borderlands episode 1. And then it hit that music with, like, the car and just the classic Borderlands start. And I was like, okay, I'm in. This is awesome. This is...
Yeah, like, I was not a massive fan of Borderlands at all, and that's why I postponed it so much. But as soon as going into it, I was like, yeah, I'm hyped. I'm pumped. This is good. Like, I'm really enjoying this, regardless of what my experience with Borderlands before is.
Yeah. Now, with moving forward, so we don't talk about music.
I just wanted to raise one more
point. Oh my God, go back. We're going back.
I'm not done, Ciaran.
No! Well, okay. What do you got?
Music. Life is Strange. Like, can you imagine
I couldn't imagine Life is Strange. I wasn't as in love with the Before the Storm soundtrack.
There was some of them I loved, but most of it, like, a lot of it, I wasn't a huge fan. Like, the punk rock, underground,
just for me, it was a bit forgettable. Not like it wasn't as integral to the story, which for me, even though it probably isn't integral in the actual game, in Life is Strange, there's always... I have the memory of, like, the opening of, like, I think it's episode 2 where you're, like, in the bedroom with Max and the music's playing.
Yeah.
And you just... I didn't want to leave... I wasn't in a hurry to leave that room because it was, like, a perfect space and time. It was just...
Yeah, those parts in the game where it would just be, like, changing from scene to scene, the music was playing and the character was sitting there and, like, you didn't have to do anything. You just sat there and took it in.
Yep. No, that game is fantastic. And
Also, I finished the bonus episode the other day.
You finished the bonus episode?
I did.
Did you get, like, hit in the feels, like, towards the end of it? I didn't enjoy...
Yeah, I really did not enjoy it until, like, near the end. Like
the last 5 minutes. I was like, okay, this is what this is. Sure. Yeah. Last 5 minutes happen where there's an event, you know what's coming. You know where that's leading.
I didn't realise it was that particular event happening until I got there.
Yeah.
Like, there was something about Max that just really annoyed me, like the way she spoke or her voice actress or something like.
I don't know.
They didn't, in my mind, they didn't act like their age. Like she acted like an older person acting that person's age, like a bit more. Like, I don't remember at that age having that complex, deep thoughts or stuff like that. Yeah. So.
But I felt very much
Life
the
is
same.
Strange is fuck Chloe over Simulator.
Oh, just
the whole thing.
It's just so sad, and I gave my farewell on early late nights to it because it quite hit me quite hard that last couple of minutes. So, all right, let's get in the way. Go away, music. Eject.
One more point.
Eject. Because I could probably go for a whole top 5 list or a top 25 list on music in games. So.
Oh, well, maybe
we have another show that we could do that on.
Maybe
we could do that on another show sometime, like, you know, possibly. But
possibly,
I want to talk about next 2 weeks. Is like for the first time I feel this year, the next 2 weeks is a semi big couple weeks for gaming. There's a whole range of games coming out that. It really feels like, you know, gaming 2018 has started. And that was the weird thing with on Friday. Well, I didn't realize Burnout Paradise Remaster was out.
Yep. And also...
Until, like, Thursday, it kind of was like, hey, this game's out. And I was like, what?
IL-2 Battle of Kuban went into full release last week too.
I'm nodding in my head. Yep.
Went out of early access. It's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, I've been waiting for it to come out in early access so I can get some proper reviews on it before I jump in. So, like, let's not spoil what the gameplay or, like, anything is for the audience because it's something you want to dive into blind. So let's go with that as we move forward. But, but, you know, in the next 2 weeks we've got coming out on the PS4, digital store will be the remaster of Assassin's Creed Rogue. There is this Thursday or Friday, No Way Out comes out.
Is that...
No Way Out's this week.
Oh, wow. So, I didn't realise it was so soon.
Yeah, No Way Out. I realised I was reading about it the other day. I was like, oh, shit. Okay, that's next week. So I think Dylan and me are going to stream that Saturday. I think we're going to hang out and stream that on Saturday. And that's one of the games where I think I'll get the Platinum by osmosis. As long as I cling on to Dylan like a rocket leaving the atmosphere.
just absorb his contra-profilist.
I reckon if Dylan didn't have anybody, he would honestly play that game by himself. Like, he'd find a way.
I agree.
I believe
he's actually said he would do it.
Yeah, probably. Like, he'd find a way of pushing through with two controllers next to each other. That would... I'd actually pay to watch that. That should be a stream. But yeah, there's that. There is, I think the 27th Ni no Kuni 2 comes out, as well as the 25th is... It's the 25th or the 27th is Far Cry 5 as well.
27th, it's a Tuesday.
27th is a Tuesday, so Ni no Kuni 2 might be the 25th then. I don't know. I'll double check my dates in a second. So... That's for me. That's a fairly big couple of weeks, and then we've still got God of War 2, 3, 4. God of War, whatever that game's called. We've got that on the horizon. We've got Detroit on the horizon. I think it really sets the ball rolling for games for the rest of the year.
Definitely.
When I look at the gaming calendar, I don't feel like yet there isn't much of like a down tilt yet, just because of the games that have been announced for this year so
Yep.
far. There seems to be quite a constant flow of every month there'll be something that we can jump
Yeah.
into. So there shouldn't be too much time for backlog. So if you haven't done any backlog gaming as of yet, you might be running out of time, friends. But is there any of those games that you're particularly excited about?
A Way Out.
Oh, way out. Yep.
Yep. Detroit and God of War.
God of War. Okay. So you're not looking at. So you're not interested in like Far Cry at all? Or...
Oh, completely forgot about it. Yeah,
I
Far
thought
Cry
you
as
were
well.
interested in Far Cry. I was like,
Actually, I honestly don't know. I want it solely because of the dog.
Of course you
But
do.
I am worried that it's just going to be more Far Cry.
Yep, it definitely will be. Definitely
Yeah,
will be more Far Cry. Even from the little section I played at PAX was very much, this is more Far Cry.
It's like I enjoyed Far Cry 3 and then going into Far Cry 4 was like, yeah, it's cool. It's more of the same. And like, am I going to feel that way again when it comes to Far Cry 5? Like, how much of the same formula over and over again can I really enjoy?
Yeah. And that's, I think for me, the biggest thing about Far Cry, because I've been reading articles almost trying to get myself hyped because I was in a state of hype last week when I saw the DLC list come out. Like I was close to kind of buying it and buying the season pass because that looks like a pretty solid season pass kind of bundle. You get, Far Cry 3 Classic Edition and the 3 special DLCs.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, and then I've heard reports that they haven't fixed the Far Cry co-op system that I hate. I really dislike Far Cry co-op
so
because I want to play it in co-op. It seems like one of those games that would be fun to play in co-op, but it's a game where you don't earn progression by being somebody else's game. Like, so if you're completing story missions together with a friend, you're in their game,
it doesn't happen.
It doesn't help you with anything. It doesn't give you progression in your game, and that's I think.
In my mind, that's like, obviously I'm not a developer or know anything about it, but that seems like a pretty basic thing to implement.
Yeah, it does. It does indeed, where it's just like, okay, why isn't this just like a checkpoint thing? Where it's, there are things that they have to get around, like, you accidentally jumping into somebody else's game that's 20 hours into the game and you've only just started and you accidentally freaking, like, completing half the game without doing anything.
Well, there's an easy fix for it. Like, there's a lot of games that let you go backwards but won't let you go forwards.
Yes. Yeah, which is you either be on the same level or you go back a bit. Like there's no difference, and that's come on, Activision, fix that up.
I was more hyped for Far Cry not knowing about it than having the details, because there's more the idea of like, this is what I want and it could be like this, like a return to Far Cry 2 sort of, like it being sparse in the wilderness, like not as full on all the time, but I don't know.
There seems to be a lot of... I think one of the redeeming qualities for me about Far Cry 4 and Far Cry 3 was their location, and probably all the Far Cry so far, their locations have been a little exotic, tropical, like it's not... It's a bit out there. It's, somewhere in like a part of India or Africa or off into an island somewhere, which kind of stops it. But then this game where you see them driving in, pretty much the trucks look like they're Optimus Prime. Like you can get into trucks that are very similar. Like I think it's the American flag. I think it's the American flag, but it looks like it's Optimus Prime. Where I'm a bit like, okay, game, sure, whatever, okay.
It's one of the funniest thing about Far Cry is Far Cry 1 is so different from all the rest of Far Cry's. The first one is you're like a bodyguard or whatever, and you go to an island, like you're on a boat with this woman and you go to rescue her, like who was your charge, and like it goes into weird science and monsters and fucking shit like that, and then it just went pretty much deadpan the rest, like steeped in realism the rest of the way.
Yeah, definitely. And it's one of those games where it's interesting, and I'm not the massive fan of collectathons or like areas on a map to go to, because
the Ubisoft game.
It's Ubisoft, and it's not because I don't enjoy doing them, but I just get myself sidetracked a little bit with, I go over to the side of the map I'm not really needing to be in right now, and I'll spend like 4 hours there doing side quests, and I'll burn myself out because I'm not getting any story content or any like actual main story development. And that's my problems with these games. It's one of those things where when I eventually do go back to The Witcher, I'm kind of like, I'm just going to limit myself on side stuff and just kind of smash through the main story, because
I think the way to rectify that is like, whereas in an Ubisoft game, you go to a tower and uncovers part of the map and it puts mini markers, fucking just shotguns them across the map going, this is all the shit you can do. I think a way to do that better is what Breath of the Wild did, is where you go to a tower, you uncover part of the map, but it doesn't show you anything. Everything you have to explore yourself. So
yes, yeah.
You might be missing stuff, but you don't know you're missing stuff, so you're not as neurotic about it.
Or even just like, have that as a setting in the game.
Yeah.
Where you can just be like, turn off everything. Don't show me this on the map. Just show me the map.
Yeah.
And make
if I come across it, I come across it. If I don't, whatever.
Yeah, like make it organic. And that's interesting, which makes me... I thought it'd be a cool question to ask, considering this and my pet peeve with that. What is a gaming trope that you wish you could delete from history? What is something you just wish you could just erase it and just be like, this is something I don't want. This is gone. I'm dropping it on him. He's thinking. It's
I've
one
never
of those
actually
questions.
thought about it before.
Yeah, I know. It's one of those things where it's not possible and there's no reason to think about it.
Where you don't have to individually reload each magazine.
You love that shit. You love that Tarkov.
No, I hate when you don't have to do it.
Oh, you hate that you don't have to do it. Oh my god. No. This is why the world isn't run by Nick. Every game becomes a survival freaking... Oh god.
What? Oh, I don't know. What's one... Tell me yours.
Well, like, because I've got the list, like, because you can have, like, collectathons, like, open world games, like, that kind of... For me, I think the thing I would want to delete is elevators as loading points in games, because I fucking hate it, and it's part of the reason why I can't stand Mass Effect 1. Like, I hate obvious areas that are designed to not have a loading screen, but to still pretty much be a loading screen. Like, you know when you're going through in Uncharted, you know when you're pushing through a small crack in the wall, the game's just trying to load something in the background, which is, it's a clever way to hide it, but at the same time, I'm just like, come on, guys.
Would you rather just a loading screen instead?
It depends.
Because at least they try to make it interesting, but like in Mass Effect 1, they have the conversations and stuff like that.
They have the conversations.
They try to make it interesting.
They try and make it interesting, but then at the same time, it's like the amount of just because, and this isn't probably the developer's fault. This is my fault for being bad at the game sometimes.
Yeah.
The amount of times I'd get into an elevator, go somewhere, and be like, "Fuck, this is not where I need to go," and you step out of the elevator and then step back into the elevator to go back up to go somewhere else. It's just, I don't know. I don't know how to solve it. I don't know if it's a pet peeve of mine. That's probably one of the things I'd just like to get rid of, is just...
One thing that comes to mind is games with like a holy shit, like especially open world games with like a holy shit, it's the end of the world, we need to do this or all is lost. And then you can spend the next 30 hours doing side quests and having absolutely no effect on anything.
Yeah, it's just
like, well, what happened to this is we need to do this now, the world's ending, but you're off fucking probing planets in Mass Effect 2. And...
I literally have a save game in Skyrim that's 30 hours and I have not got any of the Dragonborn powers. Like, I literally got out of the introduction area and I decided, because I thought it'd be fun for myself, I would spin my character 360 degrees a couple times and just walk in a direction.
Yeah.
And that was my game. And I had a lot of fun with it. But yeah, I never went to Whiterun. I never learnt about the dragons. I never killed a dragon.
Yeah.
Nothing. I was just like, whatever. Somebody else will deal with that shit. That's not my life. Like,
that's one thing I like about Kingdom Come, is that you get given a quest and like you can go do it. But if you don't do it, everything just happens without you. So you if you don't go to the quest, they like... Say you're meant to go with this squad of guys and go kill a bunch of bandits, like, you can just go off and go do your own thing and you can come back and, like, the Lord would be so pissed off at you that some of his men died and you weren't there to help him and all that kind of stuff.
Tangent with that.
Yes?
Are you happy that for once in the well, it's not happy because I'm going to offend some PlayStation players, gamers, and we're on a PlayStation podcast. One of the big things with Kingdom Come was that people on PlayStation and consoles were complaining about different systems of the game, like lockpicking. And because when you look at it, the game is quite clearly designed for PC.
Oh, yeah.
It's quite clearly like
Very
that
much so.
lockpicking mechanism and system looks very easy on PC. Like, it looks doable.
Yeah, it is. It's
Everybody
so
on
easy.
console just complains about it because do you feel good that consoles for once are like a second and afterthought? Because so many times nowadays it feels like games are just like PC games are just a port from.
Yeah. Look, it's nice. I wouldn't say it's nice, but it's good that they can have an understanding of how the PC creators felt for X amount of time. Like, obviously, it's not great that they're not having a good experience of the game. Like, obviously, I want everyone to have the best experience they can, but it's also now they can go when a PC player complains about some shoddy port, they have an analog of what it feels like.
Yeah, there's now a bit of equality there. Even with, I remember buying Left 4 Dead 2, I'm going to say it was.
Yep.
And they fucked up Left 4 Dead 2. No, it wasn't Left 4 Dead 2. Sorry, no, it was Dead Island. So
yep,
another zombie game, but it wasn't Valve because Valve wouldn't do this. And they uploaded the Xbox version onto Steam.
Oh, really?
When you downloaded the game, it worked, but all the command prompts and everything for this game were as if you had a controller. So it didn't, like, it would say, like, press, like, the green A button to open a door.
Yeah.
And you'd have to work out what the fuck the item, like, what the actual, like, the keyboard button was. And it was so frustrating. It was just like, this sucks. It took them a couple of days to fix it, actually. It was really weird.
It does not surprise me.
My other trope...
Funny you say that. Valve would do that, but they did it the opposite way. Like, Orange Box on PlayStation was absolutely fucking atrocious.
It was terrible. Because didn't the Orange Box on PlayStation came out later than the Xbox version? Because it was like, everything was on PC, and then the Xbox version came out, and then after that, the PlayStation version came out.
That sounds right, but I don't know.
I think that's how it was.
Right, yeah.
I think that's how it was. And the Xbox
Let me do
version was
some
fine.
Kiwi fact checking.
Kiwi fact checking. Kiwi fact checking on the mobile device. Platinum Explosion, sponsored by your favorite mobile device. Come here to hear us Google things and find out the answers. Do I need to riff some more? Fuck, I need to riff some more, people.
Okay, so
Hey,
coming out on Windows October 9, 07,
Mm-hmm.
Xbox 360 October 10, 07, and then PlayStation December 11th, 07.
Okay.
So it was only a couple of months.
It's only a couple months. It felt like it was longer for some reason. It's weird. But yeah, so the other trope I'd like to get rid of is death rooms. Rooms where you just have to, like, you get locked in an area or you can't move to the next area without defeating constant enemies that are coming. Like, you know,
Wolfenstein 2 is a bad offender for that.
Is it really? I can remember Wolfenstein 1, I can't remember it being bad. Like, Uncharted for me is really bad for that, where there's areas where you just, like, especially when you're playing on the harder difficulties, where there's just, you go through them and there's just the last dickhead. The last dickhead chucks a random grenade and you die. And you have to do the whole thing again. It's just, there's so many, I think there's so many games that have almost driven me to, like, stop playing because I've been stuck at a death room.
Definitely. I'd have to have a deeper think of it. But
Deeper think about this?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, tune in for season 2 of Top 5 with Nick, where we'll be talking about things we want to delete from games.
Your bottom top 5 things.
We should. All right. That's just been bored, people. It's just been born. The bottom top 5s. We should be negative. Get it out there. Now,
Look, if anything the world needs, it's more negativity.
it's more negativity in it.
Yep.
That's what we just need to do. We need to tell people they suck.
Yep.
You know?
We can't have people thinking that they have some kind of worth around here.
Like, you know, if I have to think of, you know, the bottom 5 hosts for a PlayStation podcast that's number 1 in the Oceanas, I'd probably know who was number 1. But, you know, let's not go into that.
No.
Hope you
leave it as a surprise.
just as a surprise, people.
Yeah,
Like you,
for that episode.
you wouldn't need to know. Apparently, sometimes on this podcast they do some like trophy lists or some bullshit. Like,
I want to suggest a game for your platinum.
okay,
challenge.
game for my platinum run. Okay,
SOCOM Confrontation.
SOCOM Confrontation. Now, is this? I know the SOCOM games.
Yes.
Is it? It's the same kind of thing. Like it's a
Similar. It's multiplayer only.
It's multiplayer only.
Yes.
Does anybody
And
play this game?
I did play this game.
You did play this game.
I
Okay.
did play this
Do
game.
people still play this game today?
Highly unlikely because it was a very bad
So
game.
why are you suggesting it for me?
The trophy list is absolutely atrocious.
Why is it so bad?
Here. The silver trophy, assault rifle elite, 1,000 assault rifle kills, 10 assault rifle kills with 25% accuracy in one game, 75 kills with 7 different assault rifles. Legion of Merit, it's a gold trophy. 50 MVP awards, 5,000 kills, 250 headshots, 500 games on winning side, extract 150 hostages, plant 100 bombs, capture 125 control points, eliminate 125 VIPs, Silver Star Military Cross, Gallantry Medal, all service medals, all weapon specialties elite.
Really? That's
one trophy.
No. No, thank you.
Come on. Where's this sense of adventure?
That's just no. Not at all. Shout out to people that I saw getting some platinums over the week. I saw Buddy Watson, friend of the show, getting that Burnout Paradise trophy list. Congrats to Buddy. I think I saw Michael got Uncharted for the Lost Legacy, or Uncharted the Lost Legacy. I saw that happening. So that's some cool stuff. Nick, if you were to make a trophy for a game, what would it be?
Reload 1,000 magazines manually.
Reload. Have you done that? You would have done that in your freaking 2,000 fucking
I haven't
hours
kept
of
track,
beta.
but it'd be up there.
How many hours are you in?
It doesn't track hours, so I kind of have to guesstimate. If I had to guess, conservative, I would say maybe 300 hours, maybe 400.
Okay. Anyway, also shout out to the No Way Out. You have a trophy list of like, looks like it's like 12 trophies. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I can count people. 13 trophies. They all look pretty story-based. There's a platinum trophy for it. So it could be one of them. It could be one of them Telltale games where you get everything. It's a bit cryptic. There are secret trophies that are not on the list. But please tweet out at the show at Plat Podcast, because we can't get fucking Plat Pod because Dylan's freaking just too slow on the social media game. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Plat Podcast. What games are you trying to platinum at the minute? What games are you diving through? Are you?
I'm attempting to platinum Batman: The Enemy Within.
You're attempting to,
or is that the other one?
No,
what's this one?
The current one's Enemy Within, which will be coming out in the next 2 weeks.
Is that soon?
That should be. It'll be in the next week or two. I think. Oh, that might be this week. That might be this week, folks.
I will leave that to your
Googling things live on the show.
Wait, Kiwi fact checking again.
We're just doing it. I'm sorry. Bear with me. This is Dylan might have had props to Dylan. He probably would have already had this stuff known for some reason.
He would have. I believe he comes prepared, or the illusion of being prepared. He
writes some notes and stuff, and I just thought it's two professional hosts. We've got yourself, Nick, and me. Two quite professional people. Why do we need that? So, March 27th. Holy crap, the 27th is a big day. 27th seems to have a fair lot of stuff on. But yeah, episode 5 is March 27th. Without spoiling too much, because it's probably people, how did you end how did you end episode 4?
Vigilante.
Vigilante? Why am I the only one? I'm the only one that is a horrible person. That everybody else is no, I ended that ending.
Because I felt like I know it was naive of me, but I felt like I could change, like, kind of.
I'm
redeem
interested
him.
to see if there's a legit, like, if you can legit do it. Like, if that's a legit ending to this season, I would be quite interested. But no, mine's he's.
I was destined to not make the mistakes of past Batman.
He was amazing. That's actually that gives me a question. We'll have one more question time. In games where you have those kinds of options, like the the good or bad ones, or we had this discussion today in social media because Sam, one of the professional Overwatch players, is taking some time away from Overwatch to play Mass Effect 3 again.
He is.
And he asked if he should play Paragon or Renegade for that game, and I was the first to comment because what of it, but. Yeah. And I said Renegade because it's something I wouldn't do. I
don't think I've ever gone Paragon in
really?
Mass
I'm
Effect.
just hard-coded for that kind of game. The only Paragon things I ever did in Mass Effect was Mass Effect 1 because I didn't realize it was a Renegade thing. I knocked the crazy scientist guy out at the very start. I punched him in the head because that was quite funny.
The most satisfying thing is punching the reporter.
Yeah, no. The second one, you headbutt her, and I was like, yes. And I did it both games because that was the other thing I did Renegade.
Because you like beating women.
Yep. I was just like, I'm going to headbutt her this time. No, because I just thought he was going to punch her again. He absolutely lamps her, just full forehead. It was crazy. It was ridiculous. So... it's good to see that. And so, yeah, do you play Renegade in those kinds of games?
I do.
Or?
That's a trope I don't like, how it's black and white. You're either one or the other.
I wish...
human beings aren't black and white,
no, which is why I love...
one way or the other.
It's why I love Life is Strange so much.
Yeah.
Because there's no clear right and wrong option. Well, there kind of is. There's a morally right and wrong option. And I realised in Life is Strange... I chose the morally right ending, and everybody else is like, "No, I didn't do that. I just."
Which one did you choose?
I let a car kit.
So did I.
Yeah, everybody else. Because I was talking to somebody in a forum or a post, and they were like, "What? How could you let her die? Let her die?" And I was like, "Sorry, minor spoilers for Life is Strange. You haven't played it, but it's been out long enough."
The ending we got was the canonical one from what I've read.
It has to be because
they have that so much longer ending cutscene and going through everything, and whereas the other one it's just one tiny short little cutscene and it ends.
Yeah, no, for me it was the thing that my Max would do.
Yeah,
and they just Life is Strange. Both creators now, both developers of this game, know how to.
Chloe simulator.
It's a fuck Chloe simulator, but they both know how to kick you in the teeth in the last couple minutes of the game. They did to me in probably a lot of the episodes of Life is Strange, including the last episode. The final couple moments in Life is Strange Before the Storm is a massive kick in the teeth that I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Why are you doing this? And then, in that farewell episode, it's just a massive kick in the teeth. It's just... that game. We always, everything comes back to Life is Strange. Shows how good a game is. I haven't played it.
It is.
I just spoiled it for you, but play it anyway because it's a fantastic game. So, Nick, what are your plans to play for the rest of your life?
For the rest of my life.
You were waiting for the rest of the week. No,
probably Escape from Tarkov.
Does Tarkov has that longevity? Does it?
It's kind of wearing thin on me lately.
Oh, it's wearing thin. You just wait. You just kind of want the whole game to come out now,
Yeah, they've had some pretty big networking issues, and they haven't released any new content lately. It's getting a bit samey.
Okay, fair enough.
But granted, everything gets samey after fucking hundreds of hours anyway.
Is that a trope? Not a trope, but a thing that's evolved. Do you approve of this early release game thing now that's coming out? That's it's very common now for games to be released with that tag of, pre-release game or early edition of the game. Or for me, I kind of get, eh.
Yeah, it has its merits and its negatives. The best thing about it is it can help smaller developers, flight simulators, for instance. They had like I was talking about IL2 Battle of Kaban, that's been in early access, and it gives like niche developers and stuff like that the funds to keep going. Whereas like if they just waited to release it fully, they mightn't have had the resources to get there. Whereas people are getting piecemeal things, they're picking it up early, like they're getting it before release, and it's also a way to like to support developers in what they're doing as well. But there's also, on the other hand, people that take advantage of that as well, like the DayZ debacle or whatever. Like I don't keep up with it, I haven't been burnt by it, but like it's been in early release for 6 years or something like that, and they still haven't gone full release. And
yeah, they especially like the one I've seen that is the biggest kind of culprit for this kind of crap is there's a PC game called Star Citizen.
Yes,
that looks amazing. Like the idea of this game looks so fantastic, but the amount of money people have invested in this game,
oh yeah, it's ridiculous,
is stupid. Where people have spent like tens of thousands of dollars on a different, like, you know, for each money mark was an actual ship that you got in game. So if you wanted like a Starfleet cruiser, it was like tens of thousands of dollars. So, but that game's still not out.
Yeah, there's. I think that's a naive. Not saying you're naive, but like the developers of that game are naive. Like I believe his name's Chris someone, and he has grand plans and he keeps on adding on top of that. So
yes,
it never gets done. Where like in his mind, he's doing it to improve it, whereas there's other ones that are doing it maliciously to take your money and not actually put out a product.
I think the moment you start taking people's money, you put some kind of time on your game. Like you have to, because I know with Star Citizen they started, you know, here's a little showcase where you can walk around your ship if you want to, or here's the Starfighter simulation or whatever where you can fly your ship. And, you know, releasing that little stuff buys you a bit of time, but it doesn't buy you.
Well, the other thing too is Elite Dangerous was kickstarted around the same time, and it has been released and had an expansion out already, where Elite Dangerous started like released with like the base stuff, and they've built upon that on the full release. They've built upon just adding more content, adding more all stuff like that as post release. Whereas Star Citizen, they want to have the gigantic package as full release.
Yes.
Where that's what's rubbing people the wrong way. Whereas
definitely for that game.
I think also it's like Kickstarter too. Like when you pay the money, like you have to go into it with the mind of, I'm supporting the development, I'm supporting them being able to do it. But on the same page, like you said, they have some sort of onus to the people that have invested, because you're investing in one. Yeah.
You're investing in... Look, I don't mind because some Kickstarters actually have some sort of timeline when they originally launch. Like they have this is when you'll get your kickbacks. And for some stuff like, you know, when Cyanide and Happiness kickstarted their games, it was very obvious that, you know, you'd get a board game pretty quickly out of it. Like you'd get a card game and stuff. And there's been different bits and pieces, but you need that kind of, that turnaround for these games. And I hope it doesn't become even more of a trope for these early access games, because
the biggest thing that'll be like in my mind is when AAA studios start doing it.
Yes, I'm scared for that. I hope it never happens. If that happens,
although you could argue that they're doing it already and just not calling it that.
No, there's stuff like Sea of Thieves that I felt like I've played Sea of Thieves like a lot of times before the game's actually out. And that's my problem with them, is that I like having my first experience with a game being the full package, being like, this is what you want your game to be. Yeah, is my first experience, not me getting burnt out on the half-baked experience and then not going back for the full release. Even though you got my money, so you don't really mind. But
that's how I'm feeling with Tarkov at the moment. Like I need to take a step back and have a break for a while. Let him fix everything and just add more content and
come back to us.
Yeah,
come back to our life. Let's come back. Let's embrace the hot cross buns. Embrace.
I'm leaving right now. See you later.
And he's gone. But Nick, thanks for coming back. Thanks for walking back in the room. I know you couldn't leave me.
You're welcome.
I think
I'm just a paragon like that.
You're quite a paragon, and that's what we've been in. This has been Platinum Explosion once again. I think, you know what, Nick? We could carry on with some fantastic content. Like, we could probably do...
I agree.
Another 10 podcasts.
Let's record
right
the next
now.
10 episodes.
Like, we could record 10 episodes right now, but we're not going to.
No.
Because, audience, I don't want to set the bar too high for your likes and your needs for this show. I want to remain them as what they should, you've got a taste of what it could be, but it's going to be back under the tyranny of
This
Dylan
is
Blight.
like your dessert. This is like your tiramisu where...
This is saying thank you for hanging in there. Thank
It
you
is.
for being with us. Thank you for hanging in on this podcast. It makes good content, but you know after these episodes that the content could be better.
Yeah, it goes back to the regular episodes of just like the drippings on bread, just enough to sustain you.
Just to sustain you, keep you going. So, Dylan's Twitter, he might have a hard time because he might just get tweets like, when's Ciaran and Nick going to be back on Platinum Explosion? When's that happening? Oh, when are they having audience members even, put it nicely because he's not going to listen to this episode.
No,
just message Dylan. Just be, hey, man, maybe like those guys should just maybe have a couple more Mondays off. Just phrase it like you're doing him a favor.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
really, you're giving yourself this content, which is fantastic. If you have enjoyed the ramblings of Nick or me, you can find me on Twitter at your boy Ringo or at our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Explosion Network. As well as Nick, you can find him at our Twitch channel, as well as his Twitter, which is...
at Lord and Pro, and you can find me in the Overwatch Hall of Fame.
You can find him in the Aussie Overwatch Hall of Fame. We are proud of our Aussie boys representing our country. Remember, you came here for the exclusive interview on that match. Please stay tuned for Platinum Explosion and ask Dylan, when's the next esports interview happening? Just keep up the banter. We will see you next week. We'll pretend to be not as funny. We'll kind of lower ourselves back to Dylan's level for the episode. But this has been episode 52 of Platinum Explosion. I'm your host with the most, Ciaran Marcher with Nick Pryor. Thank you very much.
You're
Give us a
welcome.
like, subscribe, a review. Goodbye.
Bye. Tell your friends.
And your mum.
Explosion, alright. Year 2 is here, everyone, and I have lots of news for you. We've announced 4 new shows and a renewal amongst a couple other things. Listen along. Tales of Theldon is our D&D cross-audio drama podcast. It's highly edited to allow non-D&D fans to experience an audio drama including music and sound effects that just so happens to be acted out and made up along the way, because it's D&D. Less dice and more drama. Kinda. Season 1 kicks off March 24th, but the prologue is available now, and short stories about each character will be posting between now and the launch. Follow at Tales of Theldon on Twitter for more. What Do You Want to Watch is our media podcast being released fortnightly. We'll be talking movies, TV, and more each fortnight, and check out a movie in What Do We Watch Anyway, our movie book club that you can watch along with. Follow at Explosion Pod to keep up to date with that. Top 5 with Nick kicks off Wednesday the 7th as a fortnightly podcast with Nicholas Pryor being joined by 2 guests to count down or up. Nick's rules really aren't solid. Their personal top 5s for this season's theme, video games, ranging from top 5 game vehicles to top 5 launch games. Check it out. Every Tuesday and Friday night from 6:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time, you'll catch Ciaran on twitch.tv/Explosion Network hosting Early Late Nights, a gaming news half-hourly breakdown show. The episodes will then go up live on podcast services and YouTube just 24 hours after airing. So make sure you're following our Twitch channel. That's right, twitch.tv/Explosion Network to keep up to date. All Around Explosion is back for Season 2 on May the 11th, with 3 more episodes to count down to solo a Star Wars story, and then talk about the movie itself. So if you're doing a Star Wars rerun before then, don't forget the first season is already available, and a good thing to listen to if you're doing a rewatch. And some updates and some changes. Tom is now going to be the full-time host of Pleasure Explosion as the podcast moves to a maximum cast of 4 members and moves focus away from being topic-based. All our YouTube shows like South the King's Landing, reacts, and review discussions will now be live on Twitch. They'll go up on YouTube's afterwards, but we want you there watching live. We want to reward our Twitch audience that has supported us so well this past year, so get ready for a full spectrum of Twitch content and better bang for your time and money. It's a lot, I know. You can find all of this wrapped up in an article right now on explosionnetwork.com, breaking down all this and more. But most importantly, The news is Explosion Network Year 2 is here, and thank you for being a part of it.